Welcome to the platform where the stories weigh a ton. This is where some of the MHSPLA's best tell real stories about what it takes to build themselves and their teams under the bar. I'm your co-host, Chris Whittaker, and we're glad you're here. Hey, if you're enjoying this show, please make sure you subscribe and follow and leave a review on all major podcast hosts, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, Amazon Music, and many more. That support helps us continue to grow the show and bring the conversations that you want to hear right here to the platform. If you'd like to give us feedback or suggest a topic or a guest for the show, please email info@mhspla.com and we'll get back with you. Today's episode is episode number 18, which is part 2 of our conversation with Miss Morgan Gilliam and Miss Erin Ribic. We get into in this one where part 1, we kind of trace the pioneering of the days of the girls powerlifting here in Michigan, from Morgan and Erin's earliest days in the weight room to traveling across the country for USAPL nationals. In part 2, we pick right up where we left off there post-high school and follow Morgan and Erin as they navigate the shift from a tight-knit team environment to training as individuals. We talk about the financial realities of the sport once mom and dad in the school aren't footing the bill, meeting influential figures like Dave Tate and competing internationally in Canada and many other places around the world. We close things out with a look at how far both women have come as coaches and mentors themselves, and a heartfelt thank you to the people that helped them get there. Until then, it's now time for you to step up, lock in. The bar is loaded for episode 18, part 2 with Morgan Gilliam and Erin Ribic. Hit the intro music.
To the platform where the stories weigh a ton. Squat, bench, dead, we rise as one. Michigan's lifters, this is our home. Turn it up, feel that foam. This is the platform.
All right. So post high school, how did you change or approach your training? I mean, you gave a little bit with the Alaskan team there, Erin, so they're providing your programming for you. But once you're past that point, how did you go about with your training program? Did you kind of stick with stuff that you learned from Coach Miller? Did you combine stuff? I mean, what was the mindset moving forward?
No, I pretty much did what Larry told me to do. I think I'm coachable. So if you're picking a program and you're picking a coach, you just need to follow that. Definitely the volume came down a lot. I think in high school you can lift a lot more frequently and heavier more frequently, and just learning as you get, and I don't want to say 20s or older, but as your body is maturing, you just can't go at that same pace anymore. So just learning that I didn't need to be in the gym for 3 hours a day. I did call Larry, I think one of the first days that he was programming me, and I was like, okay, I got everything done. I've only been here an hour. What else can I do? And he said, go home. And I was like, no, but I've only been here an hour. What else can I do?
Sure. Yeah, that's good. And how about you, Morgan? Training, your programming from high school to college, what was different? What did you like? What did you not like?
Yeah, I mean, from what I remember, we always tried a lot of different stuff in high school. So, I mean, we did 5-3-1, BFS, bigger, faster, stronger. We did a little bit of conjugate method, I think, once we started to get into USAPL, and then we met the Flint Barbell crew. We learned a little bit about programming. So Marvin Coleman, who also got me
remember
into.
we met in Ohio?
Oh, wait, who did we meet in Ohio?
The owner of Elite FTS.
Oh, yes, Dave, and then we got a chance to talk to Dave Tate too. So a little bit of Elite FTS stuff, and then when I got to college, I basically went full blown linear periodization, because that's Tim's hardcore. He loves linear periodization. So we did that, and so that changed some things. Then I think my senior year we changed kind of a little bit more towards conjugate method again, but it was weird because it was still a little bit of linear periodization too. And so at that point, my senior year of college, we kind of had more coaches as well. It wasn't like just him like my first couple years. And so we had like other coaches that would program for us. So sometimes we would get their styles. And so I remember being on a different style of programming at that point too. So yeah, a little bit of everything.
Gotcha. Coach?
Got to meet the man, Dave Tate.
Oh yeah.
We met once too. He wouldn't remember it.
Well, the guy that introduced us to Dave Tate was Matt Rhodes.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Cool guy.
Because
Yep.
Matt Rhodes is the strength and conditioning coach at Morehead State, where my buddy was the head football coach.
Mhm.
So we were talking to him one night, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, Louie," because he trained under him, and then with Dave, and so he called Dave that night, and on our way home, we got to stop by Dave's business and meet with him and talk to him, and so we went into the shop where they test all their new equipment designs and ideas. So that
It's
was
so
pretty
cool.
unique. I don't know how familiar you are with those names, Aaron, but they're big into the sport of powerlifting nowadays with Elite FTS,
Oh, I
Louis
know Elite
Simmons,
FTS.
yeah, West Side. So Dave
Go
Tate's,
website. Yeah.
yeah, all that conjugate method, all that stuff. So this is the
We
way.
did a lot of like Russian programs, like different, I feel like, where we do a million
Yeah.
sets of things. Does that all sound familiar? And
Oh yeah. Well,
That's what-
Coach Miller. Yeah,
he was big on all the Russian programs.
yeah. He
so
was
we did
telling
a
us some
lot of that.
stories. He was telling us some stories on picking their brains at some of
Mhm.
these IPF
Mhm.
world meets.
We were buying
So-
shoes from them at one point. Somebody would go to an international meet and we'd send them all with money so they'd come back with the because we thought if we had the same shoes the Russians are squatting in, we'll be better. So we
Yeah.
had
Oh, yeah.
Russian
I thought,
shoes for a while.
for sure.
He told us some great stories about the Russians too that won't make the final cut of the episode.
Yeah,
if you can't
when you
remember it.
when you put on the list for this, like good stories about your coach, I was like,
Oh, hey, that's okay. You, if when it's over, you're like, hey, we don't want it in there. We'll take it out. It's okay to share.
Tell it, because then it goes in the archive. Even if
Yes.
only we get to hear it. So, ladies, how did powerlifting prepare you for life after high school? Right, like college academics, your career, or any of that? Whoever wants to go first can take it.
Go ahead, Aaron.
I would say just in life, just teaches structure, teaches stick-to-itiveness, right? If you want to get to a goal, it's going to take day in and day out to get there. Resilience and just the feeling of being capable, and just I think it's a confidence that you get in yourself that you can take everywhere else that you go with in your life.
Yeah,
Great.
I mean, confidence does it for everybody. Like anybody that steps into it. How about you, Morgan? How did it prepare you? How did powerlifting prepare you for life after high school? I mean, you can just continue to do it.
Yeah, yeah. I love it. There's something therapeutic about putting a heavy weight on your back and being able to stand up with it or rip it up off the ground. But yeah, I would say it's just really that discipline and because I mean it's a lot of doing the mundane stuff which can easily translate to life because life isn't always, sunshines and rainbows. Like you don't always have a good training day, but like how can you overcome that? So being able to overcome adversity and stick with a plan, and you get to meet a lot of really cool people along the way. So, yeah, just having that resilience and, yeah, I attest to everything Aaron was saying as well.
Yeah, and as you get older, like myself, I used it as a stress reliever.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
sometimes, yeah, you just go in. It doesn't even matter what it is. I'm just gonna get some lifts in, get my mind off of stuff, and like get the knots out of my neck and back because you get your mind onto something different than what's going on. So I think that's a good stress reliever for me personally. So maybe it'll be
Absolutely.
that way for you guys too down the road. But you're a long ways from being my age, so
Yeah, but I mean, like I had said earlier in the podcast, it was something that, like, I always felt comfortable in our weight room just because of, like, you, Dad, and so I mean, that's the
Yeah,
place that things make sense to me, you know?
sure. I understand that. All right. So you guys know high school sports, especially, when you were at Plainwell, you had 100 kids, highly structured around a team environment, right? What's the biggest culture shock when you transition from that to not as big of a team, or in your case, for both of you now, you're training as an individual. Like there's
Mhm.
no there's no team camaraderie. You don't have your best friends. They're supporting you and stuff. I mean, what's that transition like? Aaron, let's start with you.
I think I still had a good enough support system. We'd still be on the phone with each other. How did your training go today? Did you hit your whatever? So I think, but it is different because you don't have a set time that you're required to be there. You don't have. I went along a lot of years without a consistent training partner. So you have to get yourself there every day and make sure it gets done. And when college, and I worked at a golf course, which meant sometimes I was closing a golf course and then training at 10 o'clock at night by myself in the gym where the owner gave me a key so I could get in after hours and train late at night. So it's a little bit different when real life sets in, and it's not just built into your day. So you do have to
Yeah.
prioritize it.
Oh yeah, the prioritizing. That's way different. Yeah, for sure. How about you, Morgan?
Yeah, I mean, I would say the same with like, you know, we had practice times even in college still, and then when I got out of college, it's like, that real life, like you're working, and then like you're going to train at before or after work whenever you can have time, and so yeah, so it takes a lot of discipline, and like no one's watching you, so like you have to be able to push yourself so you can get to your goals, and so like do you have that within you? Like
Yeah.
can you pull that out of you so that you can get to be the best version of yourself and really set those goals that you've or achieve those goals that you've set for yourself. But yeah, I mean, there's times I miss, the collegiate atmosphere or like that high school atmosphere of like being able to be with people all the time. I've had some training partners occasionally at times, but yeah, it's myself, and then I also get to experience that camaraderie, I think, through my business too. So I get to coach people and like kind of be that little bit of team, and then we have that, that club. So with the Great Lakes Power so it's a club for USAPL, and so I get to experience a little bit of that team atmosphere through that.
Awesome.
Yeah, the team atmosphere of high school, and again, we get old and we get on our own islands there for the most part, don't we? We know how that is. I trained with Morgan one morning and never invited her back.
Oh yeah.
Couldn't keep up. I couldn't keep up. Not that she couldn't. I couldn't keep. Yeah, there's definitely.
You did great, Whittaker.
Thanks.
I mean, I was pretty sore. We did a lot of reps that day.
Yeah, what
So
were we
I was,
doing?
I was a little sore.
I don't even remember.
I
I
don't know.
don't
You
even
told me to do like
remember.
50 of everything, and I was like, okay.
Oh yeah, you did the winning warm ups for the first time that day. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. So when you guys walk into a commercial gym or a powerlifting gym, you know, um, you know, Aaron's working in a hospital setting, but Morgan's in a commercial gym quite frequently. What goes through your mind when you see how many women are now, actively involved in squatting, benching, deadlifting, using free weights? Like, what goes through your mind when you see that sort of thing?
Got to share the squat rack with more people now.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, there's
All
in
these
your
people.
face, Aaron. Come on, man. I
I
love
used
it.
to never have to wait for a squat rack.
That's so
Now you
valid.
gotta wait your turn. Oh, that's funny. That's good. I like it. That
Yeah.
brutal honesty, Coach Whittaker. Like, yeah, what? I gotta wait for this?
Mhm.
Oh man,
Or
that's
worse, you
funny.
get that jabroni that's doing curls in the squat rack.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh. Yep.
Throw
No,
that
it's
guy
awesome.
out.
It's women of all ages. It's not just the younger generation. I mean, I see people in there of women of all ages, so it's awesome. It really is.
yeah, I think so too. Like the first USAPL Raw Nationals that we went to, we seen 3 generations of women in the same family lifting, and it was
Yes.
phenomenal. Like
Yeah, that's so cool.
the great grandma or whatever in her 80s and then the grandma in her 60s, and then the mom, and the youngest daughter was going to be lifting the following year. So I'd imagine they're at 4 generations lifting. I thought that was just awesome to
It's
see.
awesome.
That is pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Morgan, what do you think? I mean, you see it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it's awesome to see more women involved in the gym and just, like, pushing themselves and, yeah, I mean, like, I can even think, like, there's a few weeks ago, this mom and daughter, were in the gym together working out. This mom's showing her, like, how to lift, and I'm like, get a little nostalgia of 'em, like, yeah, my dad used to, like, do that with me, and so, it's nice to see other women, like, building up younger women and younger generations, and just knowing that it's cool to be strong.
Yeah.
Very cool to be strong. The
Oh,
coolest
yeah.
of the strong ones.
So, Aaron, we know you haven't competed since 2017, for a variety of reasons. Life probably being the number one thing.
Yeah.
Got other interests and stuff going, but you know, um, in your time when you were lifting, or even in the future, do you see yourself maybe not competing again? You said you would keep lifting; that's part of what you are. But would there be the possibility of you like coaching or giving advice to people if
Oh gosh. I
approached?
will give advice to anyone who hasn't even asked for it. But um
I
yeah, I
love
don't know what
that.
yeah, no, and I still hang out with my core group of friends here still all power lift. So it's still in my life. And I still help out at meets and judge occasionally, and I'm still definitely involved and happy to help. More recently I've been doing more aerial circus for a different way to be strong. So I've been
Mhm.
involved with
That
some
stuff
of
is
that. So
hard, I've heard.
it is.
So
So you
Humbling.
you personally are doing it?
Mhm.
Okay,
So
nice.
climbing on the silks and wrapping up and dropping and doing so it's I will always want a way to be strong and be active and athletic still. Um, which is also a great community. So I think, and again, back to just any ways that women can be strong and be capable and push themselves and do things they didn't think they could do. Um, I think will always be part of my
Well,
life.
that's awesome. Sounds like you're a person that likes to have like challenges and do
Just
something
see something
yes.
unique.
that no one else is doing and be like, I'm gonna try that.
Yeah, I like that. That's cool. Good.
Yeah.
Morgan, how about yourself? You've been
Yeah.
coaching some people, right?
Yeah, I actually just took a lady to, Masters Nationals in Lombard, Illinois, I think it was almost 2 weeks ago now, so, yeah, and she was 67, so, which was super awesome, but, yeah, I mean, anybody that wants to get into the sport or is involved in the sport, they want advice, they're like, "Hey," like, just any questions you might have, yeah, absolutely, I am a product of the people that have helped me, so the best thing that I can do is give that back into the world and help people. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
and a couple years ago, you coached a young man from Chelsea High School,
Yes,
right?
yes, Aiden. Yep,
You you coached him through MHSPLA, and then he went
yep,
on and competed at high school nationals, right? Did he
yep.
go to
So,
Worlds too?
no, he didn't go to Worlds. He just went to Raw Nationals. But yeah, the weird thing about Chelsea is they have like all these really strong kids, but they don't do powerlifting. And I was working at a commercial gym at the time, and one of my friends introduced me to him, and because he was thinking about doing a powerlifting meet and was just like basically adding 5 pounds on everything every week and didn't really know anything about programming. And then he was like, "Do you think you could coach me?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's try it." And yeah, and then I ended up being, "Hey, you're pretty good at this. I think you could place like decent. Let let's get involved like in the high school, and then I think you could go to nationals." And we did that. And then he ended up doing 2 national meets. He did high school nationals and then he did raw nationals. And yeah,
Yeah,
that
that's
was really
awesome.
awesome because he didn't
Did
do any
He's a
sports. He
smart
just
kid.
did robotics.
He's at
Yes, he's at
Kettering, right?
Kettering. Yep. Yep. So
Yeah, the old
but yeah, I mean,
GMI back in the day.
yes, yep. So he's doing that and on to bigger and better things, but still lifts and I still coach him a little bit. But yeah.
That's awesome. That's I mean, that's got to feel a little empowering, ladies. Not, a guy coming to a girl asking for advice. on programming and training? Like, that probably didn't happen too often in your day, Aaron, did it?
It did actually. I mean, I think,
Nice. All right.
I think especially being in Plainwell and in town, and it's a small town. I don't know if you know much
Yeah.
about Plainwell, Michigan, but it's not a big town. But
Well, I currently live in Three Rivers, so I'm
oh yeah, we were in
just
the same
down the road.
conference. At least when I was in high school, Three
Yep,
Rivers
still
was
are.
in the
Yep.
conference. So, yeah, there would be teachers that would show up, and we'd help them out.
Oh, nice.
Kendra Miller was like this big and would be bossing everybody around. So I think
That's
we
cool.
had a
That's
strong
good.
culture. We really did.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. It was a cult following, to be honest, guys.
I love that.
It was crazy. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh. And what wasn't wasn't his lifting club called the Plainwell Knights or something?
So it was, I think the first couple years he did it. And then it switched to Plainwell Powerlifting by the time I got in.
Okay.
But there were some old Plainwell Knights singlets that we found in his basement, and he let us wear for a meet one time when some of us
That's
found
awesome.
the old singlets. But I think the club was, that was the very beginning.
Okay, gotcha.
All
I
right.
forgot about that.
So we talked about how you guys both Morgan plans to compete again. Aaron, maybe we might see her come out of retirement. That aerial circus thing, they put it. I think what put aerial circus on the map. What was it? Thanksgiving, the Dallas Cowboys. I forget who they were playing, but Creed was playing a little, My Sacrifice, and that guy was flying all around the stadium.
Yeah, I remember that.
Those things.
It was like the halftime show, right?
Most iconic Thanksgiving Day halftime performance.
Oh yeah.
Amazing.
Well, you know what? Every
Who's
year
watching
on
Dallas? Who's actually watching Dallas?
No, I was there for Creed. Swear.
yeah,
Swear.
for sure.
And then I
Well,
happened to see this guy on this silk things. I'm like, how the hell does he even do that?
I
Well,
think it was
this time of year, like
I think it was
ATTV,
Pete
America's.
doing all her circus stuff and her tours.
Oh, okay. Like this time of year,
Oh,
America's
that's
Got
true.
Talent
Mhm.
airs, and they always have like somebody doing that,
Mhm.
trying to get on the show. I always find it
Yeah.
like pretty amazing because I'm just like, I don't know how the heck you do that stuff. Like you know, part of the suspense is you just think they're gonna fall and get hurt,
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty awesome.
It is.
Okay, so you both competed at IPF Sub Junior Worlds, right? Which in present form, it can't happen anymore because they broke away from the IPF, right? But tell us about your experience. I mean, what sticks out the most about your experience? And if I'm not mistaken, Aaron, your first one was taken away, correct?
Well, the first one I qualified for was in 2001, and we were supposed to go to Sochi, Russia, and that trip got canceled because it was September of 2001, and it was right after the 9/11 attacks. And so we had trained we'd given up our whole summer to train. We were found out literally like 2 weeks before we were supposed to leave that I think the meet still happened, but most countries didn't send anyone. And the U.S. Embassy actually revoked our visas, or they were holding them. They wouldn't release them. So we weren't even going to be able to, there was a plan in place. My parents were actually volunteered to like drive through the night to get to the embassy in Washington, D.C. to get our get our visas and to like get them to us in time to go. And that didn't end up happening. But so the first time I got to go was my open worlds in Germany. I actually missed my high school graduation to go to that meet. And then my first sub junior was that September in Taiwan. And that, I think just the memory of that being somewhere so different, that was probably of my whole life one of the coolest trips we ever took.
Well, I'd imagine. Coach Miller told us some interesting stories about that one. We'll share those with you off air.
Those are offline.
Because
we had fun.
yeah, but I mean, honestly, like just to go see a totally different country and different culture, and Taiwan is they were really big into powerlifting, especially back at that time, right?
Yeah, we had a beautiful venue. Yeah, that was a trip of a lifetime for a lot of
Yeah,
us.
Coach Miller mentioned something like it was like a big like opening ceremony, like it was almost like they were treating it like the Olympics kind of thing. And he just said that it was like so mesmerizing for the kids. And he even said that he got caught up in it a little bit.
Yeah, oh
But
yeah.
so you won, right?
hmm
Okay. So let's pretend we can go on a time machine.
Yeah.
Do you win in 2001? Are you feeling like you were the person to beat in 2001?
I don't even remember. Probably not, because the Russians always won everything. So we were going to Russia. So my guess is no.
Okay, well I
What
looked
method
up
were those Russians training with?
Yeah.
your best total from that year compared to the person who actually won your weight class
hmm
at Worlds, and it might have come down to Kendra Miller or Mrs. Miller
Oh,
changing
Karen
that
Miller.
third
Yeah.
deadlift
hmm
because you guys were only like 5 kilos apart.
Okay. So maybe we'll never
So
know.
I think it could have been a possibility. It could have come down to one of those fancy changes of the third deadlift attempt.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's sad that got taken away from you, but it's totally understandable how our country's stance was at
Yeah,
that
there were
time.
bigger problems going on than powerlifting meets
Yeah,
at
for
that
sure.
point.
How about you, Morgan? Yours wasn't so often to a weird, distant
No,
land. We were in
mine was in
Calgary,
Canada.
Canada.
Yep, so
But
we
we were
just
still in North America.
yeah, so it was just Canada, but yeah, I mean, I just remember it was so different than USAPL. It was a lot quieter. Because I feel like, Gino and like the announcing, the lights, the music, like I remember there kind of being music, but then I also remember just being like nervous as heck the whole time. So, um, but then I know everybody else was too. So, yeah, it didn't feel as big as like nationals and stuff. It was pretty small that I remember. And I had actually like made a friend from USAPL that had competed at my first like Raw Nationals in 2017. And yeah, so she was there, so I got to like know her from the US. She was in a different weight class and stuff, Izzy Figueroa. So yeah, and she also was coached by her dad. So I remember like bonding a little bit like with her and like having some teammates there, but yeah. hmm
Yeah, it was a pretty cool experience. So, Aaron, back when you competed, were they giving medals out for the squat, the bench, the deadlift, and overall?
hmm
Okay,
Yeah,
so
they would do
what?
top 3 of each.
Yeah, so
hmm
what medals did you get besides the overall gold? Did you get a medal in any of the other
I
disciplines?
feel well, so that first sub juniors in Taiwan, I broke a bench world record.
All
That
right.
did not stand very long after that, but
So you got a gold medal on the bench.
and then I don't you probably know, you have internets.
Humbleness. I love it.
I know. I usually would medal in the deadlift. I do remember junior worlds in Poland. But I did not often place like top 3 to medal in the. I was just always trying to get some team points. Like if I could just squeak in and get us like 1 or 2 team points.
Mhm.
When we went to Open Worlds in Norway in 2006, our team, the Open women's team, won that year. So we at that point it was a lot of we were jockeying for placings just to try to get 1 more point on the board for us. I know it
Yeah,
got beat.
for sure. No, yeah,
And that's where the individual strategy versus the team strategy, and you've got lifters
yeah,
who want to get world records and lifters who want to win, but then you're also trying to win the team award. And
yeah. You don't risk a PR if it costs you 2 places because it hurts the team.
right.
Yeah,
Yep.
I understand that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because that's the thing. Like the mindset has to change when it comes to those types of choices.
Mhm.
hmm
Um, so yeah, it sounds like you both had a good experience. But yeah, I was there with Morgan. I remember like no music,
Oh,
announcing it. It was just more subtle, because it's run by the IPF. It's not run by the USAPL. Gino
Yeah.
was there, but you know, th- you're talking sessions going on all day long, and you were lifting in a morning session. Gino was
Yeah.
probably up all night, you
Yeah.
know, the other sessions. And so, but they were on like a elevated stage in like a big arena, and the seating was
Yeah,
down
having to
below.
walk up the ramp for squats was
Yeah,
fun.
we had to walk up, and then the warm up was behind, as it always is. But they were up on a big platform and looking down at everybody that's sitting in their
Mhm.
lift, watching the lifting. So,
I think location has a lot to do with that. Because when we did junior nationals in Poland, and that would have been 2003, the whole town came out. We were in the small town in Poland, and it was held at the school, and it was in a gymnasium. But the whole place, the bleachers were packed for every session for the whole week that we were there, and kids were coming up to us wanting our autograph. They had all these autograph books that they'd made in school, and
Wow.
they would like chase us down in the street. And so we definitely had some moments where we felt like rock stars, and it just depended on the sports commission in a town, and how much they hyped up the meet. When we were in
oh
Norway
yeah,
for open nationals or open worlds in 2006, I can't remember, it was the super heavies. The gal from Norway won, but they put so much press on her, they had to sequester her before the meet because like Norway paparazzi were following her around, and she couldn't even train. So it just depends what region you were in, how
sure.
they sometimes those venues were packed and loud and bonkers, and sometimes they weren't, but it just always felt like, and especially in European countries, that a lot more fans came out to watch and
Oh
support.
yeah. Well, there's less distractions in those countries. Here, like there's a million choices, and powerlifting might be down towards the bottom. And in those countries, like that's their big event, especially those towns. So that's cool. What a great experience
Yeah.
for you and that, Coach.
All right, well, we're going into another category. This one is the explosive growth of female powerlifting.
That
A
was
couple of these.
Chris.
Thanks. A couple of these things we already kind of touched on, so we'll
Yeah.
move ahead a little bit. Michigan High School Powerlifting Association athletes, including women, frequently are dominating at the International Drug-Free Powerlifting Association Student World Championships. How does it feel seeing high school women from your home state putting up such massive and record-breaking numbers on the global stage?
Go ahead, Aaron.
Oh, I think it's great. I mean, they're lifting numbers. My numbers then would not be anything now. So I think it's just great that how much, because the pool is bigger, and so your top 1 or 5% are just so much stronger now. To me, it just more legitimizes women's place in strength sport.
Awesome.
Yeah, I agree to that. I think it's just fantastic to see, people, especially from Michigan. I mean, I feel like I'm a proud Michigander. So I think it's awesome to see them going and, hitting these huge numbers and, representing the Great Lakes over there. So, mhm.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Whittaker and I talk about it when we talk to some of our other guests on the podcast, but I think Michigan is so underrated for its powerlifting,
Yes.
that, it's only a matter of time, and it's going to, Texas still has it, but Texas is more known for equipped. Like if they took off their equipment, we'd blast them, I think, and everything. Louisiana is known for their equipped, but once again, we're all raw. And I just, Wisconsin has both, and Wisconsin has some good lifters. You know, I think Wisconsin and Michigan are two of the best states for high school powerlifting right now, in my opinion, especially in the raw division. Um, and so I think it's amazing to see how it's going. But you dealt with it when you guys both, it was IPF based. Now that it's not, and it's basically the United States is hosting everything now. So some of these world experiences that you guys get, especially Aaron, you guys got to experience, the current crop isn't getting to experience because we broke away from the IPF.
Yeah.
And what's going on is probably going to catch on eventually, but there's just not enough interest from other countries in it right now to warrant traveling to another country. And they're not even coming over here in the numbers that you would like to see. So, I mean, just, you know, what do you guys think? Like, is something going to change over time, Aaron? You kind of seen some changes being in there for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think what we saw when I was in it was a lot of lifters from other countries, especially European countries, and the Asian. Is there were sports commissions that were funding all of it, and so we were the weird ones that we paid our own way. Nobody could believe that we paid our own way to go to Worlds. And over time we saw that change money, and when money started running out in those other countries, people stopped traveling for sport because the concept of paying for yourself was foreign to them. So, I don't know if some of the shift is just financial for some people
Yeah.
is the mind shift of doing this for hobby and for fun versus, the athletes from Russia and Ukraine were getting paid to lift. They were getting paid to go win. They were getting, and some of that has, at least I know they're still funding Olympics, but I think some of the other peripheral sports probably lost funding over time too.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. What do you think, Morgan? Do you think like the current system will ever get close to what it was like when you competed at sub junior nationals? Because I mean the way the IDFPA is going, there's a lot of concern from people I've talked to that it may not be stable enough to see growth. I don't know. Have you talked to people that have done it? Because you have a lot of former college teammates, especially that are still in
Yeah,
USAPL. Some have went to the Powerlifting America also. So
right. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, I kinda lean towards no, I don't think it'll stick just because Powerlifting America has gotten, bigger and, there's more stakes, I guess, and they're affiliated with the IPF. I mean, I would hope that there's an option just because I do like, USAPL, just because like, that's what I grew up lifting in and stuff, but,
mm,
yeah, I mean, I'm definitely interested to see what happens, but I don't know if it's enough to stick. So, we'll just have to see.
yeah. All right. Where do you guys hope to see the sport of female powerlifting, both for high school and at the national, international level? Like, where do you hope to see it in the next 5 to 10 years?
Gosh, I just hope there's still opportunity, that there's people willing to coach at the grassroots level, that girls can still get involved in it and do it safely. And yeah, even the travel opportunity. I mean, I still think the basis of everything is a good grassroots program.
Yeah. So the
As
local
fun
high
as it is
school.
to travel internationally, like, that's a very small percentage of everyone who gets under a bar. So I would just hope that programs get more accessible in every high school, right? That
Yeah.
just becomes one of the programs in a high school that someone can pick from.
Yeah. And I think that's what we try to do with the MHSPLA and, not only provide it, but make it affordable. Like our meats are way cheaper than the USAPL meat,
Yeah,
like
less equipment.
you can go to, 2 years worth of, Michigan high school meets to equal one, USAPL meet, especially if it's like raw nationals, because our meats are
Yeah,
still only $20 a meat,
Yeah.
state cost 25, just because the medals are a little bit bigger, but that's not even a membership fee in the USAPL anymore. So, that's my only fear is like, the cost of things, it's not terrible, but when it's a significant, that can adjust your numbers too. Because the membership alone has went up like 10 or $15, I think, since, Morgan was competing in
mhm,
college,
yep,
and that's not that long ago. So,
yeah.
all right, coach.
If you could pick one modern female lifter who embodies where the sport is today, who would it be?
Oh man, just
Well,
one.
you name dropped a few back in the day, Aaron, so we'll let you
Oh, yeah.
take this one.
I mean, Jen Thompson, obviously,
Yes.
because she was one of the originals for me. She's still doing it. She's still getting stronger at an age when you're not supposed to be able to keep getting stronger, and just showing the longevity of the sport and what kind of impact and reach you can have across, the world. Um, I think she's definitely a name to throw into that
That's
hat.
probably your choice
100%.
too, isn't it, Morgan?
Oh, 100% it's my choice. She's from Michigan. She's from Michigan. I think that's
Yeah.
Yeah,
awesome.
Whittaker. She's from Rochester.
Let's go.
I know where that
Right.
is.
So
I
this is a
I
good
love
story. I'm
Jen
going to let
Thompson.
Morgan share the story. You're going to love this story, you guys. But once again, a big shout out, superhero female for powerlifting, Jen Thompson. She's a Michigander. That's another
Yeah.
proof of the pudding that we do it
Yes.
better here, and people need to
Yes.
recognize.
Yeah.
Tell
But
that story that Jen told you 2 weeks ago, Morgan, at Nationals.
about where her dad's from and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she is originally from Rochester, Michigan, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't know that," because background is Jen used to come and assistant coach and help us because her and her husband are good friends with Tim Anderson. And yeah, she was telling me how her dad actually owns a restaurant back where she's from and all of that. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the moral of the story, but I was just like,
Yeah,
wow,
but
so she's
what's the
still
name of the place?
it's Dickweeds.
All
Dickweeds,
right.
I
His
think
name's
Bar and
Richard
Grill.
Weed. His
Yep.
name's Richard Weed, and his bar is named Dickweeds.
But yeah,
All right.
so
I like
We got to
yeah,
hit that place, Whittaker. We got to
Huh?
we
go
gotta do
and
it.
have a burger or something.
Well,
Yes. But
Rochester
yeah,
isn't far from Lake Orion, right?
No,
yeah.
not at all.
Know where we're going
He
next
said let's
state
do
meet.
it.
Yeah,
Yes.
next year for state meet, that'll be the meal. Oh, I
That's
got you. I'm
awesome.
feeling that.
But I
Yeah.
also
Yep.
do want to mention something about Jen. She posts so much content now. So if there's anybody that listens to this and you're on social media, I know she definitely posts on her Instagram. I think she does a little bit of TikTok, but go look her up. She gives great advice, great pointers. She is probably one of the most down to earth people that I've ever met, just super kind. You literally can't like, you can't ask for a better person than that. Extremely humble, she's a family person, so yeah, look her up, look at her stuff, she's got great tips if you're ever wondering about anything powerlifting
Yeah, no.
related.
For the newbie lifters in our association that aren't familiar with who she is, some people say, arguably, pound for pound, the strongest bench presser in the world, male or
Yes.
female.
Are we
So
arguing about that? I don't think we're arguing about that.
I'm
Yeah,
not.
that's,
I've
not
seen
even
it.
a debate.
It's crazy.
She's literally in her 50s benching I can't even remember what her most recent, but she's benching in the 300s,
Yeah,
and
competition, it's I think her PR is 336, 341, something
Yeah,
like
sounds
that.
right.
yeah,
Unheard
she's
of.
phenomenal.
And she's only 140 pounds. I mean, it's
Mhm.
Yeah,
that's nuts. Yeah.
yep.
Well, that you guys picked a great one, that's for sure. Um, so still, a lot of younger girls when they're first getting in it, they look at the weights, the heavyweights especially, probably get a little intimidated. Maybe not so much as the weight room itself anymore, but seeing multiple plates on a bar and seeing people struggle. What advice would you give to a 14-year-old girl, somebody that's an incoming freshman in our state, thinking about signing up for her school's powerlifting team? Aaron, what advice would you give her?
I think you just got to start somewhere, and then it's you versus you from then on out. I think that's the addictive part of doing it, is you want that 5 more pounds, that 5 more pounds. So I think don't worry about what everyone else is doing or the person in the rack next to you. It's just get started, see where you're at, see where your starting point is, and then just get better and find some good people to help you.
Awesome. Morgan?
Yeah, I mean, I can just say go for it, you won't regret it. It's life-changing. I go to meets now with all my, my experience, in high school and undergrad and world, and, I see people I know, and they're just like, "Oh my gosh, how are you doing?" You just can't beat the relationships that end up developing, and you do like run into these people later on in life, and I just think it's a great community, and if you're somebody that's like kind of looking for that, like you will get that from powerlifting. So
All right.
Well,
Good.
brings
All
us
right.
to our
Coach?
next segment. You're getting towards the end here, ladies.
Yeah, we're almost there, ladies. Thank you for your time. It goes fast. I mean, as you start talking about stuff, but it does add
Mhm.
up.
So, next topic. These are some of our wrap up questions. We ask a lot of these, or at least this one that we're about to ask you, pretty much to every guest. Powerlifting has a lot of failures that inevitably happen, just like life. What's a failure that you experienced that then led you to success later on?
Oh gosh.
We can give you a little bit of time to think about it. But it doesn't even necessarily have to be in the sport of powerlifting, but if it is, that's even better.
I mean, I think generally speaking, every time you make a mistake, you learn from it, right? It's every time you forget a command, you don't squat deep enough, you it's and that's the life lesson, right? Is that you just take something you error it at, you fix it, and you do better the next time. I will say I dropped a deadlift PR in Brazil at Pan Am's one time at the top, and I never missed a grip workout again after that. After that happened. Things that hurt your soul, you make sure never happen again.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that's the resiliency piece, right? It's the doing something that hurts your feelings because it was, you made an error, and then you just make sure to not make a new mistake the next time, but not the same one.
Sure. Morgan?
Yeah, I mean, I think back to like it's powerlifting really because it's honestly changed my life. But it was my sophomore year state meet. I bombed out on bench, and I was gonna be. I think I could have been state champ potentially that year. At least in the running for it. And I remember my dad was like, finish the meet, and so I did. I finished the meet, and this gentleman came up to me that was coaching another girl, and he said, "Do you want to learn how to bench press?" That was Marvin Coleman. And he was coaching somebody else. He was coaching my competition, actually. Like we would have been
Yeah, but
fighting
you're all
for it.
but
He
one.
said, and he said, "Do you want to learn how to bench press? Come train with us." And I'm lucky that my dad took me up there every Sunday to Flint Barbell, and I learned how to bench press because that was always my weakest lift. And literally, if not for him, I would have never done USAPL. I would have never even had like Midland University as a scholarship. And I'm lucky that my dad took me to that. So, and then I ended up winning a state championship the year after and the year after that. And I went on to college and competed. So, yeah. So, huge shout out to Marvin. Thank you so much.
He's from my day.
Yes.
Yeah, he is.
So, did you see him at meets a lot?
Oh yeah, all the Michigan USAPL meets, and then I ran even when I moved out to Washington, I'd run into him and Miguel at the Arnold usually if we were there. If I was there.
Yeah, that's who we would
He's been
train with
around a
on
long
Sunday
time.
mornings.
Oh yeah, and then we
if
trained with his
if you had
wife.
an error there, then you wouldn't have focused on it the same way to get better and really push past that.
Yeah, because Morgan always could out squat everybody. That was her thing.
Yeah, and then my bench press would put me behind.
Yeah, and then she would blow like a 25-pound lead and bench. Yeah. We won't get into like why she bombed out at that meet because that would be my biggest failure is what led to her bombing out at that meet. But it was at Mona Shores, and there's 3 different gyms running with lifters. And I had so many kids at different platforms, I missed her attempts.
Yeah, but that wasn't even your fault because I knew
somebody
better.
Went up when they're not supposed to after they
I know,
fail
that was
an
my
opener.
fault. Yeah, that was my fault because I
You know
was
that, right,
confident
Aaron?
I had
Wasn't
it.
that the rule? Wasn't that the rule? You miss an opener, you repeat it?
Sometimes we think we know what we need.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
when left unsupervised.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
But that was not your fault there because I knew better. But
No,
I agree, Aaron.
That's how I feel. That's how your mom feels too. So
Oh God.
So we'll let Aaron take this one first. Share a fond memory or funny story about Coach Miller.
Oh my gosh.
Funny or fond or both.
A
Maybe it's
lot,
the same story. It's both.
yeah, no, a lot of fond memories for sure. Like I said, when he punished me by making me load one of the guys' weights all summer,
Yeah.
I forgot what I did. I was a pistol. But yeah, I was thinking of like specific stories. I think just probably like the most touching memory is when I did win that Open Nationals my senior year, because we just worked so hard for it together. Like we did, like that was our goal, and like everything I did and that he was so supportive through that whole training cycle. And so I remember that being just a really special moment that we kind of got there, because we weren't sure going into it if I was going to win or not. And I think he didn't want me to get my hopes up too high, but by that point, like that ship had already sailed. And so I was like, we need to make this happen. So,
Yeah.
yeah. And just being able to travel, and we had a lot of windshield time together in the truck, going to meets and traveling around. And I actually babysat his girls for a number of years and vacationed with their family. And so, I mean, our friendship goes much deeper than just the powerlifting. So he was
Yeah.
definitely like a mentor and a second family to meet in high school.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's good to hear. Yeah, he's very knowledgeable guy. We really loved interviewing him. I think he enjoyed it as well. We're going to get him back on for an episode when we talk more specifically about deadlift, because honestly, every plain well deadlifter back in those days, if they were within 20 pounds, they were going to beat you because they could out deadlift you. And so
Mhm.
he definitely had something going right with his training and philosophy. Plus I'm sure it was the makeup of the kids he was coaching as well, but definitely some training and programming involved in that. All right, Morgan.
A
Tell
fond
us about your
memory.
coach. I
Oh,
prefer a
A,
funny
a
one.
fond or
you
funny
know,
story. There's probably
I
more
wasn't.
funny stories.
I actually wasn't very close with my coach. Just kidding. But no, I think it's just like a compilation of all of it. I mean, I was lucky that my coach was my dad, and but like you were also super hard on me, and so I feel like I kind of got the best of both worlds. But I think like the most fond memory is probably like when you weren't my coach anymore, and I actually got my last deadlift at my last collegiate nationals, and all I could hear was my dad.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. For an instant, she was first place, and then the girl pulled and
Yeah, half
beat
a
her.
second, and
Yeah,
then the
she
other girl,
pulled
she
a
just
PR to take over first
oh my
place.
gosh.
And
Yes,
so I was
well,
like,
my
yes, you got it. You're national champ if this girl doesn't get this. And she
yes.
did it. But, so Morgan's had a lot of second place finishes. So that's
Yes.
probably uh, to her, she looked at it as disappointing, but it's still quite of a accomplishment, to be honest. So, um,
Mhm.
Aaron, I see that your husband and you own a company called Ribic Productions.
Yep.
Sorry, Whittaker, that I took that from you. You can ask the next one.
No,
Tell
go
us
ahead.
about it.
Um, we run bodybuilding events, and so we've run some other fitness events over the years, but he started that with one event in 2002, I think, and it's grown to 7 events now. So that's how we met. He was a bodybuilder, and then I lifted with Priscilla, and he would help her at international meets. So we met through traveling, and um, it's our way. We still get to be part of the fitness community. Is hosting events. And we did a strength expo for a number of years that Dana Snow's taken over now, where we had powerlifting and strongman, and I threw some aerial in for a few years. My studio came, and which was always fun to watch the strongmen go try to hang from a silk for a second.
I can only
Yeah.
imagine.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just like I said, fitness has it's the powerlifting has steered, my whole life as far as my career and what we do for a business. And and
So
everything.
you guys produce like the shows, like you're doing
Hmm.
all the video and all the publicity, and
Yep,
there's
and
7 of
renting
them
the
a year.
space and organizing the staff and ticketing and the whole thing.
Wow, that's awesome. That's pretty impressive.
So, but I mean, I
And
started helping Todd with events when I was 16. So, you know, being part of events and what it takes to run an event. And
yeah, you've been exposed for a while.
yeah, it really, I mean, it just kind of was a natural progression for me. It's the event life, we
Sure.
call it, because it's a lot of late nights and it's a lot of weekends and it's, you know, long
Oh yeah.
days and it's loading trucks and it's not as
Now
glamorous as everyone thinks it is.
these events are in the Northwest. Is that
Yes,
correct?
we have events in Washington, Montana, and Idaho, and then we help at events throughout the Pacific Northwest and throughout in the NPC.
Okay. And so the lot of fitness and
Hmm.
bodybuilding, is that
Hmm.
what it is? Okay.
Yep. Yeah, mainly bodybuilding. And then Dana Snow, who's the state chair in Washington, and us hosted Raw Nationals in Spokane in 2018. So,
Oh,
and
you were
Dana
part
runs
of
all
that.
the, yeah. So, and then Dana runs all the powerlifting here. So we still do some things to help her out.
Yeah, I
And
was at that meet in 2018. That's awesome.
it was bananas. We thought we were going to get 600 lifters and we had like 1,200. It was insane. So,
Yeah.
So
I
is it IFBB?
NPC is the amateur, and then we do some IFBB events too
Okay.
awesome.
as part of our events. Yeah, we've been a big part of bringing kind of the natural bodybuilding back for the NPC. We've had a lot of input on kind of drug testing protocols and trying to make sure that it's run well from that standpoint for the natural athletes too, which has been really rewarding the last few years.
Okay. Cool.
Have you
Awesome.
ever
Thanks for
have you ever
sharing
run
that.
into my guy, Big Ron Coleman?
Um, I have. I mean, we saw him in passing at the Arnold a few years ago. He was in a wheelchair, which Ivan was like bummed about seeing because he's definitely physically not what the videos right that we grew up
Yeah.
watching.
Mhm.
But yeah, he's been out and about. I know he had a health scare a year or two ago, and I don't know if he's been out and about as much since then, but he's still
Yeah.
around.
I
Yeah.
just recently noticed like Jay Cutler's been putting out a lot of stuff with his lifting and training videos, and like, I forget like how huge he was, and he's still big as heck, man.
Mhm.
Like
Oh
those
yeah.
guys are just
Yeah, he's come out to events locally. He's a great ambassador for the sport, and he did a lot of favors for a lot of promoters. When we were coming out of COVID and just trying to like rebuild and get going again, and he was just traveling all over trying to help hype up events and get people back out to events again. So he's
yeah.
a super solid guy.
Cutler's my brother's favorite bodybuilder. My younger brother is like big. He did a lot of bodybuilding, shows and stuff after high school. He did some powerlifting, and then just transitioned to bodybuilding for
Hmm.
him.
Yeah,
And
we see a lot of
yeah,
people go back and forth because we hosted our event that had powerlifting, bodybuilding, strongman, and like some years there's people that have done all the events. They did bodybuilding
That's
1 year,
awesome.
strongman, powerlifting. So we definitely gear a lot of the younger lifters that want to do bodybuilding, which NPC doesn't allow before 18 anyway. But you know, we're like, why don't you start with powerlifting? Let's get comfortable in the weight room. Let's get you strong.
yeah, building blocks. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Chris.
Morgan, tell us. You talked a little bit about your personal training business, but kind of tell us more about it. What's your day to day? How's it working?
Yeah, so like I said, I work full time as an exercise physiologist right now too. So doing that and the business full time, which I love doing. So kind of started as I do a little bit of like I travel to people's homes. So I have some like home clients that I go to, and then I have people that I rent space out of a gym in Ann Arbor, Michigan, across the street from Costco, just so everyone knows. And I train like
Conveniently
my power
located.
lifter. Yeah, yes. And I've also developed a fear of Costco because of it, but we'll have to talk about that another time. So, it's just crazy in there. But yeah, so I train some of my power lifters there, and then I also have some like what I would call Gen Pop. So just your average Joes of like, hey, I want to learn how to lift weights. So, and I also train like some young bucks too, some people that are like in middle school and all of that, some people's kids, and so Yeah, just a little bit of a variety, and, I love the in-person training, and then I've got also the online side of my business where, Aiden that we mentioned earlier, he's at Kettering now, but, I train him online. So he sends me videos and stuff like that. So, yeah, there's a little bit of variety to the business. And then it's called Great Lakes Power and Performance technically through the state of Michigan, but, my dad started it as a club so that people could find each other in USAPL from Michigan, and register under that club. And so legacy is super important to me, and that's why I chose it for the name of my business because I would not be where I am without my dad and powerlifting. And so, yeah, that's how that came to be.
Awesome.
All right, our favorite part usually, because this is gonna take you back a little bit. These are rapid fire. Don't give it a ton of thought. Your first instincts, like this is about your lifts. Like, so Aaron and then Morgan, you can answer right after. What's your favorite lift? Squat, bench, or deadlift?
Deadlift.
Morgan.
Squat. Squat.
High bar or low bar squat, Aaron?
High.
Low bar.
Do you prefer a 1 rep max or a rep PR?
1 rep max.
1 rep max.
This is the way. Conventional or sumo? Deadlift.
Sumo.
Conventional.
Okay, what's your favorite accessory exercise for the squat?
Heavy bottom squats.
Probably.
Describe it to us real quick.
Yeah.
Aaron, describe yours first.
We would do knee wraps, suit bottoms, no straps, and just as heavy as you could go, just doing the bottom part right when you transition onto your quads. So you're in the hole, and just that relief part where you're done with the hardest part of the squat, you drop back down and come back up again right in that hole to get used to that. What you're doing is practicing pushing through that transition point.
Yeah, so yeah, popping out of the holes while you were working on. Yeah, I got it.
Yep.
Sorry, Morgan, go ahead.
Oh yeah, no worries. I would say probably either like double pause squats or Bulgarian split squats. So usually when I do double pause squats, it's pausing at the bottom and then at your sticking point. And I usually like to use that on like a speed day. So when you're doing your lighter weights or squats.
Nice.
Best accessory exercise for the bench press, Aaron?
I would say dumbbell press or dumbbell incline press for practice with stability and not having a straight bar. So you've got to balance both.
Nice.
I think helps your flat bench.
I would say for me, dips or decline bench press. That's been pretty helpful for me in the past.
Good. And Aaron, what's your favorite accessory exercise for the deadlift?
At deficit deadlifts for sure.
Morgan?
Probably RDLs, but that's because I pull conventional.
Yeah, I gotcha. Well, you don't remember our triple threats that we used to do?
Oh, I remember.
Oh, they're not your favorite?
Named.
I'll have to explain those to Coach Whittaker at some point in time. The kids hated them. I loved them.
Yeah, they worked though. They worked.
They worked really well. So, but yeah, they weren't fun, and the weight wasn't heavy, but it sure as hell felt heavy the way we did it. So, all right, Aaron, shout outs. Do you have anyone that you want to mention or thank that we haven't talked about that
Oh my gosh.
impacted or influenced you? I mean, you don't have to talk about them in details, but
Yeah,
name drop some teammates and stuff like that.
Yeah, I would say my lifting partner through high school is Carly Noggle. And all the Iron Maidens, Harriet Hall and Leanne Blinn and Priscilla Ribic. I don't know if we talked about her much. Yeah, all my Iron Maiden teammates over the years, for sure. Yeah.
No, that's great. I mean, what a great name for a team too there, Coach. Iron Maiden. I mean, that's like a nice heavy metal band. like I love it. I know that I don't know if that was the thought process in the name choice, but I love it. That's great. How about you, Morgan?
Yeah, I mean, I've already said like thank you to like my dad because he got me into it. Definitely Marvin Coleman, who like pushed me to do USAPL and encouraged my dad to take me to Flint Barbell. My uncle, who has like helped me with like dieting, water cuts, and all of that, and just been like a good support system, and just my family that would show up to all my meets. And then definitely my time at Midland University, like thanks to Tim Anderson, because I got a lot of different exposure there to like people and just powerlifting, and it definitely shaped who I am today.
Social media, ladies. Any public facing social medias that you want to share that our listeners can follow you or keep up with you?
I don't.
How about the business? Is there anything for the business?
Yeah, if you go to Ribic Productions on Instagram, you can see the bodybuilding
All right.
on there.
Ribic Productions on Instagram. Nice. I looked up a few things just to be honest with you, just to follow, because I'm like, all right, this is cool.
Yeah.
Pretty neat. Morgan?
Yeah, it's Great Lakes Power 1 on Instagram. Give it a follow.
All right.
I think I already followed that one.
Thanks, Whittaker.
Good. Well, I personally want to thank both of you for being here because, Aaron, your teammates and you were pioneers
Thank
for
you.
the MHSPLA. All the girls that followed, like Morgan and the ones we have now, you inspired them. So good job. Thank you. Congratulations on a successful career as a lifter, being in physical therapy now and running that business. You sound like a busy beaver to me, man. You got a lot of stuff
Yes.
going on. You know,
It's the only way to be, right?
I don't think you probably want it any other way, but thank you for joining us. I
No, thank you.
appreciate
What
it.
a fun trip down memory lane for sure.
Yeah, I bet. And Morgan, thank you so much. I mean, I seen you earlier today anyway because I was visiting your grandparents.
Yeah.
But you know, I just wanted to thank both of you guys for being here. I think you're gonna make a big impact on even more girls as they listen and see this episode.
No.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, ladies, for being here. This has been another episode of The Platform where the stories weigh a ton. There you have it, folks. That's the end of part 2. Hopefully you've enjoyed this one. If you did, please give us a like, a share, a follow, and directly take this right here. Hit the little button. Send this link to somebody you know that would love to hear this episode or any episode of The Platform. Until next time, I'm Chris Whittaker, signing out.
Bars chalked up, clocks counting down. Another early morning in a small town gym right now. Steel on sleeves, heart in your hands. Every rep, every meet, building Michigan's strongest plans. Welcome to the platform, where the stories weigh a ton. Squat, bench, dead, we rise as one. Michigan's lifters, this is our home. Turn it up, feel that foam. This is the platform. Bus rides, late nights, singles in the duffel bag. White lights, red lights, every call, every flag. From the first warm up to that last grind set. We talk chalk, talk nerves, talk the best you haven't met yet. Welcome to the platform, where the stories weigh a ton. Squat, bench, dead, we rise as one. Michigan's lifters, this is our walking in alone.